Hey, what's going on? My name is Aalon. I'm an amateur fighter from Gracie, Tampa South. Basically, I started fighting because my friend, well really it started back in high school. I have to go back to sophomore year of high school. I tried out freshman year for the baseball team, didn't make it. I tried out sophomore year, didn't make it. So my friend said, why not do wrestling? So I was like, alright. So I did wrestling, I loved it. And in between summers, I decided to I wanted to keep in shape for next year, so I went to my first school, Tiger Schulman's, and I was there for about a year, and I wrestled through high school, and I got some background basically from there, some stand-up, submission grappling. That was all right. When I came here, my jiu-jitsu went up tenfold, and they're definitely gonna help me get to that next level of becoming a pro fighter, because I want to fight at UFC one day. It's not necessarily just to get money. I think it's more about, respect and, it's just, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun to compete against people that can give you a good fight. There's always somebody better than you out there. And, fighting is a lifestyle. It's not a season. It's all year round. Whether you're coming off the fight and you're skipping, a week or two, that's fine. And then, you got this guy eating pizzas every day. But, you gotta get back to your diet, not too bad. And then you gotta keep working out, and you want to improve from each fight, So, you might go up, you might have started here, and then after camp and the fight, you go up here, and you drop down a little bit. And then next camp, you go up, you drop down, and you keep progressing, So, basically, I want to fight in the UFC, and I feel like I can do it here. We already got our school's put 7 people in the UFC already. No other school in Tampa that I know of has done that. And what it takes to be a fighter is you have to be dedicated, because if you don't stick to it every day, you're gonna fall behind, or you're not gonna be prepared for your fight. You want to go into that cage knowing you've done everything possible to be ready for that fight. Like, that's why Chuck Liddell, if you've ever seen him, he's so relaxed before a fight, because he just says to himself, he takes the pressure off himself by saying, there's nothing I could possibly do now to get any better than what I've done. I've done everything and put everything into it. You got to be up at 7:30, make your breakfast, get hydrated, and then come to the gym every single day. We're doing a 7-week camp, so I'm gonna be here every day, 2 times a day. And this guy's trying to sneak up on me. I'm a ninja, that's why. And it's tough on everybody around that wants to hang out, and I tell them, I can't. I'm training or whatever. They want to go eat pizza, I can't. And maybe I'll bring a thing of food with me, my chicken or whatever, but I can't eat pizza. And my girlfriend, she can't take. She always gets mad when I can't. If I get out of the gym at like 10:30, we only get to hang out for maybe an hour or two. It's pushing it, but I gotta see her sometime. And then she's at work all day, so I can't see her then. So it definitely has a toll on her for the 7 weeks. It's like she's doing it with me. And one of probably my most inspirational person, is my mom. She pushes me. She really pushed me. She never pushed me to do anything really. She just asked me if I want to do stuff. She asked me if I wanted to play baseball. I said okay. So she paid every year for me to play baseball, whether she could really afford it or not. And then same thing with training here. $115 or whatever a month. She pays it. I don't pay it. She pays it for me. She buys my groceries from a camp mostly. But basically what I try to do is I try to work in between camps and save up a whole lot of money, so that when the camp comes, I don't have to be working every day. I'll have money to save for groceries, but she pays for everything. She supports me. If she could go up to Tennessee, she probably would, but she can't. She's got to work. When we come to Florida, she'll definitely come see my fights. But as far as anybody, being my main drive is really her. Because when I, get to the UFC one day and I start making money, I definitely want to pay her back. She always tells me, when you're rich, all I want is a Beamer, and that's it. So I'm gonna try and get her that Beamer. Maybe buy her like a small house or whatever. that's basically most of my motivation.
How does it affect like training camp and everything? Trying to be a fighter, how does it affect you and like your friends, for example? Are your friends being supportive? They're not being supportive, you know?
Oh yeah, my friends, they're all supportive about it. They're all like, go out there and kick his ass, and they'll be like, oh, Aalon, you're dedicated and stuff, They won't really try to tempt me with, food or whatever. They're not gonna be like, hey, you want some ice cream or whatever. They'll be like, oh yeah, I understand, you gotta eat your chicken or whatever. And basically, it really doesn't even affect, my friends too much, besides, me not being able to hang out with them as much. But when I'm hanging out with them, it's just like hanging out with them when I'm not in camp. We just chill and have fun. I try not to really bring up, my training or fighting or anything, because it's like one of the only times I really get to, release from that, because we're dealing with it every day, 2 times a day. And, I think it just affects my girlfriend the most, really. Other than that, my friends, they just support me, I guess.
You ready for this training camp? You looking forward to fighting for the title?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to fight for the title big time, because this will be my hardest fight. The first 2. He's the #1 ranked in Tennessee. He's got the belt. He's 16-4. He's got a good record. So, this will definitely help me get ready for a pro fight, because he's actually really good in all of his attributes. He's got a good stand-up. He's got good ground. So it's just gonna be, who wants to help more and who's training harder. And I think I got better technique and everything that it takes. I love doing the camp because everybody comes together like a family, basically. You see them every day. You may get on each other's nerves, but at the end of the time, at the end of the day, you guys would like help each other out. If somebody gets hurt, you're gonna be all over and be like, you're all right. I'd pick somebody up and take them to the hospital if I had to. It just brings everybody together. It's like a huge camaraderie type of thing, and it's different. Like when you're not in camp and you have nothing to do, you don't have a set schedule, you feel like it's like what do I do? It's almost like when Army veterans, and they come back and they're used to being in the war zone. They come back and they're like, wow, this is so boring. That's basically how I feel, because then I just go back to Publix and I bag or stock, and it's like, this is so boring. I'd rather be training right now, So during the fight camp, it gives me a reason to actually be here every day training, and if somebody asks me, why I'm not, hanging out or doing whatever, I can be like, I'm training. It's not just because I'm lazy or whatever, Well, I grew up in a really, really small town called Parrish, and it's down by Ellington Mall, Outlet Mall. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, Manatee County. And literally, there was maybe 6 or 5 houses on my block, and I was just like it's populated with a bunch of Mexican people and just country white people, and like I've always been more outdoors person. I always go outside and I'll go run or do whatever. I used to play outside and get skid marks. I have a million scars on me just from playing wherever. I was never really a prissy type of person, but my mom, she worked at, she's been working at Publix for a while, but she worked at Winn-Dixie for 23 years, and she was just a single mom because, I never met my dad before, or I don't even know who he is or where he lives or anything about him, really. And, it doesn't bother me that much, I guess, because I have other father figures that, I've come across, throughout my years. Like I have 3 uncles, and they all act like fathers to me. And then, even my next door neighbor that I used to live next to, he was like, I actually took him to one of my father-son breakfasts that we had at our elementary school. I don't know, sometimes I feel like, just any older guy that I kind of idolize or whatever, it seems like a good role model. They kind of I feel like they're a father figure to me, but it doesn't really bother me too much that I never met him. If I did meet him, it'd be like whatever, but it's not really a big deal to me. I'm just glad, my mom, she's still there. She takes care of me, and she supports me, and she'd do anything for me. We could be broke and minus $50 in the bank account, and she'll still, get me a present for, Christmas or whatever, buy whatever food I need. And, I think that that shows a lot to her integrity too. You know, and I grew up with my aunt too. I grew up with 3 women really. My aunt, my mom, and my grandma, and a dog. It was a girl too, so I guess 4 girls. And so I guess being in a house full of women, it didn't really make me hard or anything. You know, I actually got, you know, pretty good manners, I guess. You know, they always put manners in my head, you know, but, you know, my mom definitely kept me in line, that's for sure. If, you know, if I talked back or anything, I'd be crying the next, you know, 5 minutes. You know, she just got me. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, and then, you know, it's just, we didn't really have a lot of money, so I started coming up to school in Tampa, and we used to have to drive from Ellington all the way to Tampa. It was like a 30-minute drive every morning. My mom would wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We'd get in the car. She'd drive me to her store, and I'd wait in the store until like 7 o'clock, and then my mom would drive me to school, and then she'd pick me up after work, and we'd drive back home. You know, we did that for years and years, you know, a special assignment. And then we moved to Tampa, and we moved in with my cousin, you know. And we moved out of my cousin's house, we moved in one of my friend's house, moved out of my friend's house into another friend's house. You know, we just pretty much moved house to house to house. And then, you know, we weren't really in one spot, you know, for too long, really. And then we moved into our recent apartment when I got into middle school, sixth grade. And we've been there ever since, so that's probably like my most stable home, I should say. But you know, even though it's a small apartment, you know, it's all I really need. I don't need anything huge. I just need, you know, I need a bathroom, a kitchen, bedroom, and I'm good. You know, my Xbox. I don't know if I can get through a camp without my Xbox. But that's really about it. You know, that's pretty much how I grew up.